Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Azrael, the latest film directed by Katz, which was released on September 27th, 2024. Azrael is a post-apocalyptic horror film starring Samara Weaving as the titular character. Set in a world ravaged by the Biblical Rapture, the story explores themes of survival, religious fanaticism, and the resilience of the human spirit. Now, before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, then please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As a warning, this review will contain some heavy spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Seriously, major spoilers ahead. Lastly, if you want to see something reviewed, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Thank you. I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. The film opens with the foreboding title card. Many years after the rapture, among the survivors, some are driven to remove their sin of speech. This sets the stage for a society where speech is considered sinful, leading to a community of fanatical mute survivors in some dense woods. Azrael, portrayed by Samara Weaving, is introduced gathering berries and crafting a bracelet for her companion, Keenan, played by Nathan Stewart Jarrett. Their tranquility is shattered when a group of zealots captures and separates them, leading to a harrowing sequence where Azrael is bounded and offered as a sacrifice to grotesque demonic entities known as the Burned Ones. These creatures, attracted by blood, are a constant threat in the film and add an uneasy tension. Azrael escapes this ordeal, and the rest of the film is about her journey to reunite with Keenan and find safety. On my first watch, there were a lot of things that I missed in this movie that I'm going to try and explain to you. The film dives into themes of religious extremism and the rapture. The loss of speech is a primal form of control and survival. All the members of the cult have burned or removed their voice boxes. They physically cannot speak and have scars on their throats. It's very interesting because Azrael and Keenan also have these scars. At one point, the two of them were active members of the cult. By the start of the film, they are no longer members of the cult, or at least they've run away from the cult. Now, the reason they ran away is because Azrael's execution was ordered. The cult leader is Miriam, and she is pregnant with a child. Miriam, much like the Virgin Mary, had an immaculate conception. Given that context, she believes she is going to give birth to the next Messiah and the next savior of the world. An interesting fact here is that the name Miriam has an ancient Hebrew origin and means wished for child. It's very fitting for her given that she's pregnant and excited for her soon-to-be child. In the camp, there's a chapel where Miriam resides. In the walls, she hears whispers and translates these whispers as biblical prophecies. She receives a prophecy that Azrael will kill all of them if she lives, and that's why she must die. Another interesting fact is that the name Azrael is also of Hebrew origin and means God is my help or help by God. However, in Jewish folklore, Azrael is the archangel of death. Given how this film ends, it is a very fitting name. By the time Miriam finally gives birth, Azrael has killed every member of the cult. She is completely covered in blood when she confronts Miriam. It's very Samara Weaving. To Miriam's chagrin, she hasn't birthed the next Messiah, but rather the Antichrist. It's very Book of Revelations. Miriam, completely horrified, commits suicide, and just as Azrael is getting ready to kill the Antichrist, she notices the burned ones bowing to him. She stays her hand and realizes the Antichrist is her solution. He is the safety that she's been searching and fighting for. He is the symbol of her evolution from a regular cult member to the angel of death. In a way, this film is almost a cautionary tale of the issues with religious fanaticism. More importantly, fanaticism in general. When you push too hard on one thing, you sometimes get the opposite effect. This applies to anything: religion, politics, relationships. While it's fresh on my mind, the US Democratic Party is a great example of this. Over the last 4 years, I saw so many left-leaning people voice their concerns for their party and get bullied for it, prompting them to leave the party. Lo and behold, Donald Trump, the right-wing candidate, was elected as president. It's so interesting because this phenomenon literally happens with everything. Overtly strict parents create overtly rebellious kids. Overtly religious parents push their children away from church. I skipped over it, but in this film, Keenan dies. He's sacrificed to the burned ones. This prompts Azrael for vengeance, which is why she hunts down and kills the entire cult. Like I said at the start of the film, she's completely covered in blood. The blood and her murderous vengeance make her no different than a burned one. The symbolism is perfect. Samara Weaving delivers a standout performance as Azrael. She is so expressive and can convey a wide range of emotions with her facial expressions and body language. For a film with no dialogue, she is a phenomenal casting choice. She perfectly captures Azrael's vulnerability, determination, and resilience. Samara Weaving is the perfect final girl. The supporting cast is great. Some cast members like Gero Milanov and Katarina Unt are perfect at embodying the zealotry and menace of the cult. The only cast member who felt out of place was Nathan Stewart Jarrett. Despite some attempted tender interactions between Keenan and Azrael, the bond didn't feel believable. I think it's the energy Nathan gives off. It's very millennial book club, which did not fit the survivalist tone. Oh well, it's not too big a complaint since he's largely not in the film. Visually, the setting is good. I love me a dense forest, however sometimes a dense forest can feel a little repetitive and stale if there aren't any good landmarks, or I guess if there isn't a good sense of scope and scale. While the forest in this movie is hauntingly beautiful and desolate, I can't really tell where Azrael is traveling. It all seems to blend together. While that might make sense from a narrative standpoint, as a viewer, it's not as entertaining. Anyways, Martaniel is the cinematographer, and given the setting, he does a great job of capturing the forest. The use of natural lighting enhances the realism, while the framing of the shots conveys isolation and tension. I love the aerial drone shots of the forest. It's really vast. I also love the sequences involving the burned ones. They are very grotesque in appearance, and their movements are dark and creepy. Their thirst for blood and flesh are very zombie-like, but in a more disturbing way. Zombies kill to kill, but the burned ones kill because they relish it. Spooky. I mentioned the vastness of the forest, and it sparked one scene in my mind. At one point when Azrael is running from the cult, she runs into a regular Joe Schmo. He's driving a modern truck across a road and speaks perfect English with her. It's so interesting because his inclusion suggests that there are other Rapture survivors who carried on living normal lives instead of fanatical ones. It's another warning against religious fanaticism. Before wrapping up, I want to talk about the soundtrack. Composed by Todi Gudnason, it plays a solid role in conveying emotion and building tension in the absence of dialogue. The music ranges from ethereal melodies during moments of introspection to discordant tones that heighten horror elements. There are many scenes that I enjoyed, especially because of the music. My favorite scene because of the music was when Azrael burned down the cult camp. It was very cathedral-like and matched the religious themes in the film. Azrael is a visually arresting and thematically profound film that dares to tell its story through silence, atmosphere, and symbolism. Samara Weaving's fantastic performance drives the narrative, making Azrael a compelling character whose journey from victim to vengeance is cathartic. The film's exploration of religious fanaticism, its cautionary warnings of extremism, and its deeply symbolic use of characters and names elevates it beyond a standard post-apocalyptic thriller. While some aspects like the repetitive forest setting and the underwhelming chemistry between Azrael and Keenan slightly detract from the experience, the haunting cinematography, grotesque design of the burned ones, and evocative score more than make up for these minor flaws. Azrael succeeds in crafting a story that offers a grim yet fascinating take on faith, survival, and the thin line between salvation and destruction. Its chilling final moments make this a must-watch for fans of atmospheric and religious horror. Thank you for listening to my review of Azrael. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if you want me to review something, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.